Hey guys, it's Ruby and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I've roped my dad into doing another YouTube video, and we thought it'd be a really good idea to do half passes. So today we're going to show you the very beginning of how to teach a horse a half pass to the end result. So I've just warmed up and we're ready to go.
Hi, so today we are going to do a little demo on half passes. You can see Ruby's just working in the background. The half pass is a movement that comes in the UK in the tests at medium level. Comes in trot and canter. It's the first lateral movement in canter that we do in a test. But in trot we've done leg yield, we've done shoulder in, we've done traver. So in the trot we build up to it. What is a half pass? The best way to describe a half pass, if you don't know what it is, what it looks like, imagine a banana. That shape that you get with a banana, that's the shape we want the horse to go in. So if we're going right, we want them shaped around our right leg like that. And if we're going left, we want it vice versa the other way. And so how we teach the horse to do this is we have several little exercises we can use in both trot and canter. And it obviously depends on your experience as a rider, the horse's experience, to how we start and how direct we can be. Okay, so we're going to start in canter now. What you need to be able to start a half pass is that you need a degree of collection. Ruby, do you want to go large? The canter half pass is done in collected canter. And what that means is that you need a canter where you have an aid that helps them with their balance. There's a couple of things that make these harder movements more difficult. One is the obvious. It's a more difficult movement. Half pass is a lot harder than leg yield, because leg yield they bend and move away from an inside leg, where half pass they have to move in the direction of the bend and stay bent around the inside leg. So that's what makes it a lot harder. Second thing is that when they have to do these more advanced moves, they have to have an improved engagement. And what that is in the canter, it's the carrying ability on the outside hind. So Ruby, if you go on a circle, and so what you need to know is that we have a basic half halt, and that's an aid that allows you to, it does two things. It does change tempo. It can sometimes be very, very subtle in how it changes tempo. So it's not just a transition. A transition is a very clear tempo change or a pace change. The half halt is one that what we do is we adjust the balance. So Ruby, if you go just a fraction forward on your circle. Okay, just a little, not too much. Not too much, just a forward collected canter. Yeah. Good, right, now I want you to collect very slightly, but not much, not much. And now go forward again, not so much. So what we do is every day we do lots and lots and lots of these little transitions, because they give us adjustability. As you get more advanced, what gives us more control is gears. Good, then forward again. So we need two things, is when Ruby sits up and asks Jack to wait, the first thing is he waits, but the second thing is that what he doesn't do, he doesn't lean down on the front. If he doesn't lean down on the front, that means he's sitting on the hind leg. So sometimes it depends how you think. Sometimes you think about the back end dropping. Sometimes you can think about the shoulder lifting. Whichever works for you, it's usually the same reaction. Good, Ruby, you're going to go large. And once we have that, what we do is we then have an aid that helps us with the balance, because these harder movements actually have a negative impact on the horse's balance when we start. So how are we going to start? Ruby, if you ride alongside, and then when you get to the top, we're going to do a half pass towards the center line, but I want you to make it extremely shallow. All right, so you maybe take the whole long side only to get in about 5 meters. So how we start is that we do a very easy version of the end result. So we're going to ask him to canter down the skull. He has subtle flexion in the direction he's going, and we do a very small angle. So the more Ruby can keep him forward and then edge him over, because what he has to learn to do is not fall through the inside leg. So some horses, when you start this, find going sideways really easy, but they fall through the inside leg. So what we're doing is we're going to give him technique. So we want his pole up, and now just very gently come across. Now, if they don't move across, Ruby, you take the neck a bit straighter. We can straighten the neck up a little bit and help him with a bit of direction. So we've got two things. We've got direction, and then we've got the description, which is the body shape, because if we're in an inside flexion, it's half pass. If we're in a bit of counter flexion, that would be leg yield. So again, Ruby, I want you to ask for a shallow half pass. So if he follows the outside aid, we create a little bit of flexion. If he doesn't, we straighten the neck and take him a little bit forward off the outside leg. And then as he starts to follow the aid and understand it and give us what we want, not too much, not too little, we slowly increase the angle. So Ruby, I now want you to ride a little bit further across. So what we do is the more he follows the inside aid, Ruby's going to start building the angles. Now, if he questions this, I don't stop doing the half pass, I just reduce the angle and then increase the angle. Where I'm not one for stopping and starting. The only time I'll stop it is if the horse has really come off the aid. So we're going to do that one more time. So a little forward, and now start to bring him over. And the more he follows the inside aid, so we have him shaped around the inside leg. So we want his nose to the right, we want his shoulders to stay upright, and then slowly to bend around the inside leg. Ruby, just watch you don't tip too much to the outside. Right, and now do a circle. And now we're going to refresh the canter. And what we do is that when we do this, we always do it from the wall to the center line in the canter because we need to repeat. And we want to be able to repeat it from both ends. When we first start this, Ruby, if you collect now and give him a walk, if you first start this, what you would do is you would do that 3 or 4 times like that and then quit. And then next time you want to do it, you do it 3 or 4 times and then quit. And then you will find very quickly over a month, 6 weeks, the horse really starts to pick it up. If you over ask initially, the horse can tend to learn to run through you. You make the movement a little bit too hard for their ability, then you can find that you spend the next couple of months trying to stop him from anticipating. So take your time, and when you first started, it doesn't feel like you're moving across much, so you do have to look to where you're going. And then very, very slowly, we just build it up, and actually by doing it slowly, you get there very quick. Okay, so when we do this exercise, obviously, we want to do it on both reins. When a horse starts this, it's quite mentally tiring. So if you find that you've done it 3 or 4 times one way and they're tired, walk, give them a circle, give them a break and repeat, and then go the other way. So what we're going to do now with Jack is we're going to show you the next level of difficulty. So Ruby, I want you to go large. When you get to the bottom, can you do a 20-meter circle for me? So when we first start, we go wall center line. Once you've achieved wall center line, to go to the next level of difficulty, because as they get introduced into the test, we have a half pass straight, right half pass straight, turn right. Then we have a level of difficulty where with the half pass we go into a counter canter. Then eventually it's half pass, counter canter, flying change. Then eventually it's a zigzag, which is a half pass change, half pass change. So we can slowly start with this half pass and then through exercises join it up, which will end up being our very advanced lines. So Ruby, can you do a 20-meter circle, and then can you go center line and half pass to the track? So now this is, let's say, a more established horse. A horse that has understands the half pass. So she's going to start, she's going to go down the center line, and you're going to half pass to the track and then go counter canter. So she's going to think ears up, and she's going to ride him forward and sideways and forward and sideways. Now, in the half pass, you can see the shape. If your horse questions the shape, so that's the descriptive aid, make your line a little easier. If the horse doesn't question the shaping aid, make the line a little bit more difficult. So we have an exercise, which is an easy version of the movement, diagonal Ruby, and then do it repeat. Now just refresh your canter. So we have the exercise, which is an easy version of the movement, and to give the horse an understanding of what's required. And then what we have then is we turn the exercise into a movement. So center line, do your half pass, and now you go forward. Very good. So you can see there, it's nicely uphill, bent round her leg, nice and straight. Good, and then we go round in the counter canter. Good, and then you're going to go back on the diagonal. Good, and then we're going to do one line, which we would do on a more advanced horse. So as they get more advanced, what we do is we increase the degree of difficulty. So now, Ruby, can you do it from the 3/4 line? So wall to the center line is your initial exercise to teach the movement. Center line to the track is a nice exercise because then you start to introduce counter canter, and then as they get more advanced and we have to want to ask more of a question, we can start going 3/4 line or from the wall all the way across. Very good. All right, you do a change. And then as they're more advanced and they can do changes, we can start going both ways. So 3/4 line, half pass right. So we end up in this sort of exercise. So it's all step by step. So even this guy who's more advanced, if I came in and we were schooling him and he was a little stiff or he wasn't quite on the aid, we would go back to the easy half passes. So we make it easier if they're a little bit, whether they're a bit confused or they're a bit tired that day, and then we make them more difficult as they, good Ruby, you can go large, and we make them more difficult as they get more advanced and get more confident. All right, you collect and walk, and you give them a breather. Good. So if you have a little system in place, if you have these stepping stones, you don't get stuck. So start wall center, well, start wall coming in a few meters, eventually wall center line. In the tests, we tend to have, the line tends to be DB or DE or GE or GB. Where people make the mistake is they tend to start it on the competition line. Don't. Make it a bit easier. Give yourself time to think about what it is. You know, get the feeling that you can have them soft around the inside aid and move across. The steeper the line, the more difficult it is to keep the horse around the inside leg. So use the easier lines to get your confidence, increase the difficulty, and you can just drop in and drop out. So we also, for the advanced horses, half pass for us is also a suppling exercise. So we will do an easier version of it as a suppling exercise, because when you start at medium, we go wall, center line, wall. Eventually at Grand Prix, we have to half pass from K to B, all the way across the school, which is a very, very steep angle, do a flying change and half pass back. Or in the Grand Prix, that's the Grand Prix special. In the Grand Prix, we have a zigzag where we go 3 strides left, 6 strides right, 6 strides left, 6 strides right, 3 strides left. So then we have these high number of small zigzags. So even then when they have that knowledge to be able to do those very, very difficult lines, I still come back and use these easy lines as my exercises. So what we're going to do is, if you struggle with your half passes, so I've talked a bit about what we're looking for in the half pass, but if you struggle with your aids, sometimes the easiest thing is to do it in the walk. So the aids for half pass are actually very similar for your aid to go canter, very similar for your aid to go travers, very similar for your aid for a walk pirouette, in the sense it's inside leg on the girth, outside leg slightly behind the girth. The biggest difference, then we want an inside flexion. The biggest difference is where we send the body. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it in walk, and Ruby's going to show you. So walk, Ruby. So what we're going to do is we're going to take his nose slightly right, shoulders slightly left, and we're going to ease him over with the outside leg. Now, if you get really stuck and you find that he keeps getting stuck, Ruby, go straight. Now leg yield back to the left. Leg yield left, go straight, leg yield left, not right flexion, leg yield. So what you can do is you can use your leg yield to get the horse bent round your inside leg. That feeling, so if you come center line into your leg yield, so if you do a leg yield and you get the feeling that the middle of the body softens around your inside leg. So if you leg yield to the left, so if you see Jack's rib cage has bent round to the left. Now keep that body positioning, Ruby, but half pass right. So she's got to keep the same body positioning, but half pass. Come down the school, that's too steep. Good. Very good. And again, we'll do a very, very small angle. So we create a subtle inside flexion from the inside rein. We manage the balance from the outside rein. We ride the walk forward from the inside leg, and we direct the outside of the body over from the outside leg. Okay, so if you think if you were going to shape, if you think in your mind that you have to shape the body, so if you think if we're going to go left, I've got to shape them that way. So I take a little inside rein to get a bit of shape, and what I want is the nose to go left, but I want the shoulders to stay to the outside. Then the outside rein can manage that, and I want my inside leg to keep asking the walk to stay forward, and my outside leg asks them to slowly step over. So again, when we get, if you get stuck, reduce the difficulty of the angle, and as you find it easier, you increase the difficulty of the angle. So a lot of it, when you are a little bit unsure of the aids, if you actually imagine it, if you actually really think about it and create a picture in your mind, you'll be amazed how your body will follow that, and your aids will start to be descriptive through that. And that's what you're doing with your aids, is you're trying to use your aids to give the horse as much information as you can about what you want. So just remember that as they get more difficult, you need a more description in your aid, and that's giving them all the information. So where to put the head, the neck, the shoulders, his middle and his bottom.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below, and make sure to leave a comment with any video suggestions that you'd like to see, any more training videos you'd like to see, and I hope this one really helped you guys out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love ya. Bye.